Hello, my name is Andrew Costello. This is John Costello. He's a operational manager for a local call center in Florida. And we're interviewing today to learn about his job and different skills and communications that he deals with on a daily basis in a call center. Now, John, I was wondering, how is communication very important in your job? I know being a call center,
Mhm.
being on the phones daily, and also organizing many individuals at a time, that could be kind of aggravating and hard to do. How is communication, as itself, plays a role in your workforce?
Sure. And again, the call center that I have has over 600 employees, 10 different departments. You have different people doing different functions, whether it's an HR function, human resources, to operations management on the floor, managing a team of people. Could be people managing the timing, the scheduling, workforce management, or otherwise, training department. So we have to communicate between teams. We have to communicate to our specific teams, and we have to communicate report-wise back to management or clients that we deal with in various reports and meetings that we have, so that the clients can be assured that we're doing all the right things that they demand. But communications with the customers being primarily what we have to deal with. We have to script what our people say to make sure that they're communicating the right responses, the right answers to customers. But we don't write scripts to where it's so tight that it sounds robotic. We want people to have some latitude in the scripting so that it sounds natural, and our employees are very knowledgeable. They go through rigorous training. And without that training, without the communications that they start with coming into the floor, um, it can be communications can be if it's lacking can be troublesome. So we're constantly monitoring calls. We have a quality assurance team that listens to calls, and we provide feedback so that the both the employees and the management team can calibrate. We call it a calibration session to make sure that we're all talking in the same terms, thinking the same way, analyzing situations the same way, so that future responses will be consistent.
Okay, it sounds like communication is a very important thing then in the call center and also your job
Mm-hmm.
that you deal with on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
Now, what made you want to get into being a operational manager?
Sure. Thank you for asking. Operations management is kind of a jack of all trades and master of all those trades too. You're not limited to just doing one function. I deal with management. I deal with clients. I deal with customers. I have to take escalated calls that the customer service reps may not be able to handle, so that I can resolve problems for customers. I have to train people. I have to be part of the training process and the HR process, the hiring process. So being multifunctional is exciting to me. I thrive in that environment in which I'm able to develop people, bring them to success, and seeing others succeed definitely gives me some self-satisfaction at the end of the day.
So, if I wanted to be an operational manager such as yourself,
Mm-hmm.
what type of skill sets would I need to have or traits that I could bring to that job to be able to do it effectively?
Well, it might, somebody might respond to that question and say it takes years of training. Personally, I don't know that the years are so important as the effort that you put into those years. I think being college educated is important. I've seen some people come through with just associate's degrees or no college, and they've done fine. But again, the college experience provides the opportunity to mature, to sample different aspects of life outside of the home that a lot of people don't have necessarily in just their general upbringing. And by the time you graduate, there's a certain level of maturity that is brought forward into the workplace. But beyond that, continuous training. I've done. I'm certified as an ISO 9002 auditor. That doesn't mean anything to you, but I'm certified in various factors and different types of things that I do. So continuous education, and also I would say the practice of mentoring, meaning both receiving mentoring from other people that you have taught, you have learned under, you've gotten knowledge from, and people that you mentor yourself. Having that river flow is what I call it. Where river has to have an outlet and an inlet. Okay, you can bring in all the knowledge you want if you can't share it and don't have a good way of communicating. That's a problem. If you only are telling people what to do all the time, but you're never bringing in new information, that can get rather old and stale
Right.
too. So you got to let that river flow. You've got to get the continuous educational skills, continuous mentoring, and then mentor and continue to bring what you learned to the floor.
So I assume also that, dealing with so many employees, that is a very important role, mentoring individuals.
Hmm.
What type of individuals do you look for to be in these call centers and be able to do the jobs that you require to get done each day?
That's very important. Our human resources team works with us, and we give them continuous feedback on the type of people that are succeeding and where we're having problems. We bring people in initially, they come from training into kind of an intermediary phase where we have more of a one-on-one with them. Our coaches will take the time to see who they are, what they're, how they're working out on the floor. From there, we have to kind of call some people out. They're not going to make it, and it's important to recognize that early on, both for the employee and for us, because if you're not good at communicating, if you don't, if you don't deal well with customer complaints, a lot of customers will come and get on the phone. They'll yell at you. I've had some employees just break out in tears on the phones. You can't do that. Okay, so there's ways to handle those calls. We'll retrain, redirect communications to them, coach them to success. But ultimately, if that's not going to happen, then we have to also give them alternatives, either other positions in the company or exit interviews, which is never pleasant, but necessary communication at the same time.
Now, with your employees, kind of expanding on that, do you offer any like incentives, or do you
Mm-hmm.
do any group functions together to build, team morale and, better communications and provide, that extra incentive to go out there and be, a good individual, making sure the customers aren't, dissatisfied
Mm-hmm.
with the work and understanding that's going on?
Team building and morale building is essential in any environment, whether it was a call center or just a doctor's office or a small environment itself. I have 600 employees in this call center. In this realm, we have to constantly motivate. I mean, if somebody, our quality assurance team sees that somebody's had a failed call, that they didn't do it properly, we don't want to just go up and say, "Oh, you did a bad job." So we turn a negative into a positive by listening to 10 further calls with them, coaching them on what they did wrong the first time, and then as those 10 calls get done, rewarding them and complimenting them on the fact that we got nine out of the 10, or 10 other calls now positive. We have employees of the month. We bring out balloons for past calls. So you see a lot of times you look around the room, you'll see 10 or 15 balloons up because people had monitored calls that were all passed, and they're proud of themselves. They got the balloon for the day.
Right.
So there's a lot of rewarding that has to go on. And call centers are a tough environment sometimes when you have to deal with customers. You don't know what you're receiving on that other end, or what kind of a day a customer's having. So you have to put your best foot forward, and keeping people motivated to do that, that's where that's where my strength is. That's where a good call center or operations manager's strength should be. As you asked earlier, what we can bring, or how somebody can promote to that. If they can learn to deal with the public very well, and with customers well, and with clients, the customer service reps, and bring that motivation to the teams, that'll bring success.
Well, thank you for letting me interview you, and I've definitely learned a lot from
Mm-hmm.
this. And it definitely sounds like communication is very important in your business and field that you do. So thank you for the pleasure, and I wish you much success, throughout your career.
All right.